Hello guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another of my videos. Today I'm going to bring you guys the best sub ability tier list in Shindo Life. Now this is going to be over the modes in the sub ability tree. Now this does not include the Jins. If you guys want to go see the Jins, go check out this video. I'll post the title of it on this video and I'll put it in the description below. Those will actually be the Spirit Beast and the Jins, but in this video I'll be going over everything else. Now if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment if you want more. Also feel free to leave suggestions in the comments below. I do read every comment and reply to them eventually. Also, to you people that are going to dislike this video just because I don't agree to your opinion, I have one thing to say to you. Alright, so the first one we're going to be starting with is going to be the Finite Strength Spirit, and obviously this is going to go in bad. It gives you like 1,000 stat points per stat, and the ability of it is just absolutely atrocious. It's like Obelisk, but worse, so just never use this pretty much. Next up is going to be Akuma Eternal Hand. Now, I'm going to put the Akuma Eternal Hand in the good tier simply because it's a very unique ability. The Z spec of it is basically like an eternal counter without all of the other things in it. It's just one eternal counter pretty much that's instant casting. You can catch someone off guard with it if you're extremely good at like timing your stuff, but otherwise probably won't be the best. And the passive effect of it will actually respawn you when you die. I have never actually seen someone use this in a duel, but I'm sure it can actually help some people out. Next one's actually going to be Inner Spirit. I'm going to be putting Inner Spirit in bad above Finite Strength Spirit. Inner Spirit is pretty much one of the first modes you actually will ever have in the game. It's basically that. It's just stat points pretty much, and there's nothing else to say about it. It's just kind of bad. Next up is actually going to be Lightning Cloak. Lightning Cloak is actually going to go into the really good tier simply because the Z spec of it is really good. Also, when you auto attack people, you actually teleport to them. So that also is a very added bonus. Not to mention that it is extremely fast and actually will give you decent stat points. Next up is actually going to be the Bat Cursed Spirit. Now I'm going to put the Bat Cursed Spirit in the meta tree simply because the Z spec of it is pretty much, it's kind of like a Electro Blade where it shoots you forward. So in case you don't have that, you could always use this. Also, you can fly with this, but it actually consumes a lot of stamina. Not to mention the stat bonus increase isn't that good. Next up is actually going to be the Demon Spirit. I'm going to put the Demon Spirit in the Broken Tree. I feel like Demon Spirit, the range of it is absolutely insane. It actually does a decent amount of damage. It's like 30k, 40k, something like that. Not to mention that it actually is a stun, and it is a very long stun at that. So in my opinion, it is very broken because of that, and I feel like a lot of people actually agree with me. Next up is actually going to be Dune's Fate. I'm going to be putting Dune's Fate in Broken above Demon Spirit. I feel like Dune's Fate is probably the most broken sub-ability mode on this tier list. It breaks blocks. It does a ton of damage. It has a chance of actually glitching out and hitting you 3 times. So it actually will do like 70, 80k damage when it's not supposed to. It's only supposed to do like 40k max. But yeah, Dune's Fate is really good in general. I use it a lot myself. Next up is going to be Ember Fate Spirit. I'm going to be putting Ember Fate Spirit in the good tree above Akuma Eternal Hand. Now, you guys will see for all the Fate Spirits, they're all going to be in the good tree simply because the amount of stats they give you is absolutely insane. They give you like 3,000 stat points per stat. So if you're not actually in a duel, it would actually help you out a ton no matter what Fate Spirit it is. So it actually will be good. But the effect of this is actually going to be a beam. It's like Kami Blade from Tengoku. It's pretty much the same exact thing. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, it's just going to be pretty good. Next up is actually going to be Haze Fate Spirit. It's actually going to be below Ember Fate Spirit on the good tree. I feel like Haze Spirit is actually pretty good for the stat points alone. As I said before, the effect of it isn't anything special. Nobody ever uses Haze Fate Spirit because if they're using a Fate, they're most likely always going to use Dunes. Next up is actually going to be Heavenly Spirit. I'm going to be putting Heavenly Spirit in the really good tree at the very end simply because I don't know if you guys know this, but it actually is really, really, really good in combos. There are some broken combos that you can use with this. Like actually broken, like you can glitch out your character and it'll make you one-shot people pretty much and they can't do anything about it. But other than that, it's only useful for combos, but simply because the combos are so overpowered, it's going to be in really good. Next up is actually going to be 8 Gates. Now, in my opinion, 8 Gates is actually going to be in the good tree at the very bottom. I feel like 8 Gates, the amount of stats it gives you at the final tier is actually a ton of taijutsu. So if you combine this with Kenichi, you could actually do a ton of damage with your M1s. Also, the 1 through 6 Z spec of it actually will teleport you to them. And it is really good. Also, not to mention that you do teleport when you use Ember Entry and Azarashi Barrage. I think it's Azarashi Barrage. You actually will teleport to them. And it is just really good for taijutsu infinite combos pretty much. And that's why it's going to be in the good tree. Next up is actually going to be Mastered Frog Spirit. Now, in my opinion, Mastered Frog Spirit is going to be in the good tree. But I'm going to be putting it at the very bottom. Now, the reason why it actually is going to be in the good tree isn't because of the Z spec. It's because of the double hitting when you M1 people. It actually makes a lot of M1 combos possible, and if you combine it with Kenichi, is actually very, very deadly. Next up is actually going to be Mastered Rabbit Spirit. It is actually going to be in the good tree, but I'm actually going to be putting it above Akuma Eternal Hand and below Haze Fate Spirit. Now the reason for this is actually you get the same M1 bonus as the one before. Master Frog Spirit, you actually get the same M1 bonus. And the Z spec is actually a lot better. You actually just walk around on top of a giant rabbit that punches people, and it does a lot of damage. It's just really, really good in general to use for M1 combos. Next up is actually going to be Nimbus Fate Spirit. Nimbus Fate Spirit I'm actually be putting at the top of good. The Nimbus Fate Spirit used to actually be the most broken Fate Spirit before it actually got nerfed. It actually used to be able to do like 100k damage, but it actually got hard nerfed, and because of that, it's going to be in the good tree, however, at the top. Obelisk Fate Spirit is actually going to be the next. Obelisk Fate Spirit I'm going to be putting above Haze but below Ember Fate Spirit on the good tree. Now the reason for this is because of the stat points. As I said before, the Z spec of it is alright. Just about 30k, nothing crazy, you know. Next up is actually going to be Puppet Platinum. Now in my opinion, Puppet Platinum is actually going to be in the good tree above Nimbus. Now the reasoning for this is because it actually can be used in combos. It also extends your M1 range. Not to mention it actually is really, really good for infinite combos and stuff like that, because the Z spec doesn't actually require chi to use. Not to mention that actually it's just a good stun overall, and pretty much if you guys want to use this, you have to do a combo though. Next up, it's going to be Reptile Spirit. Reptile Spirit I'm going to be putting in the bad tree below, and I mean above Innergate. Now the reason why it's actually going to be in the bad section is because, you know, the stat points it gives isn't that great, the Z spec isn't that great, and pretty much it's just overall there's a reason why you have never heard of this. Next up is actually going to be Santa Puppet Platinum. I'm going to be putting it above the Halloween Puppet Platinum, simply because I feel like it's better. It does more damage than Puppet, and it does pretty much all the same stuff as I said before. Now Snail Spirit I'm actually putting in really good below Heavenly Breast. Now the reason for this is because it actually is really, really good in team fights. I almost never see someone actually use this, but actually is really, really good in team fights because it actually will heal up your team. I have experienced this firsthand, and people have used it to help me beat other people. It is that good. It will heal you extremely quickly. It can actually win you team fight. Next up is going to be the Snake Spirit. I'm going to put in the Snake Spirit in, I'll put it in meh above Bat Spirit. Now the reasoning for this is because it actually is really, really good for just getting around the map. It's just good for movement, but that's pretty much all you're going to be using this for. Next up, it's actually going to be the Spider Curse Spirit. I'm going to be putting the Spider Curse Spirit at the top. I'll put it in the middle of meh. Now the reasoning for this is because while it does stun and while it does extend your M1 combos, there's always a better choice than this. It's really weird. It's creepy too. If you guys want to use this, I mean, I'm sure you can make it good if you use it in certain scenarios, but I really most likely will never use this myself. Next up is going to be Frog Spirit Awaken. It is going to be beside the Mastered Frog Spirit because it actually does the same exact thing. The frog just has a different effect on the Z spec, but it has all the same ideas as the Mastered Frog Spirit. And next up is actually going to be Specialist Spirit. Specialist Spirit, in my opinion, is going to be at the bottom of Broken. I feel like people... My face is right there. I feel like people really, really sleep on Specialist Spirit because Specialist Spirit, in my opinion, it does tons of damage. Your M1 range is actually extended, and it's just really, really good. I don't see why people don't use this more. I actually started to use it a bunch against people in duels. The only issue with it is that it actually does not increase your movement speed, but it is really, really good for combos. It will help you one-shot people. Trust me. Get this and try to use it. But yeah, guys, this is actually be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment if you want more, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, guys.